Trying to get the perfect lighting. It is so annoying, but yeah, it is what it is.
I get you what you want, but you want me alone, baby. I get you what you want.
Hi lovers, and welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Hena J Bryan, aka Bookish Babe, and I am back with another video. Oh my god, I can't believe it is the end of February already. Those 28 days ran by me. Like, I'm still trying to catch up. Like, I'm still trying to catch up with the fact that February is over and we're going to be entering March. And then from March, it's April. And when it's April, it might as well just be August. And when it's August, it might as well just be 2024. So I'm shaking in my little boots right now. And yeah, I need time to just slow down. I need God to put a pause on it because I have not done enough stuff as of yet. I also haven't read enough. So yeah, God needs to put a pause on it, let the babes catch up, and then we can resume at full speed. But for now, paused. Like, I need March to feel like at least 3 months. Yeah, that's the only way I'm going to feel good in my life. 3 months, March, it needs to feel like it. My rant aside, I am here to talk about the books that I read in February. I shared my TBR. I believe it was, if not the last video, then the video before. I shared my TBR and there were 13 books on it. And as expected, I read only 7 out of the 13. February was quite weird for me. Like, I was really, really slow whilst reading. And also, I had a lot of work to do. And then the last thing is that, what was the last thing? Some of the books were trying. Some of the books were trying, and at least one book in this pile took me like a week to get through, and that's very unlike me, but it was trying. And yeah, I'm still proud of the fact that I read 7 books though, because it's 28 days, it's a very awkward month, and yeah, that's all I have to say. Now, I have some of the books here with me. I've got 6 of the books here with me, but I sent one to a friend, and therefore, in the name of consistency, so that my video does not look weird, I'm just going to put the covers up on the screen, and then we can like go through them, as opposed to showing some of the books and then putting a cover up. But yeah, let's just get into it. Let's just go. We need to get through these books and move on to better. Like, I am so excited for March. I know I'm going to do a video on my March reading, but in March I am going to be reading nothing but translated fiction, and I am so excited. But yeah, let's get into the books that I read in February. So the first book that I read, and this is the book that I've mentioned in a previous video, is Really Good Actually by Monica Heisey. As said in my last video, really, really funny, reminded me of Sorrow and Bliss. It's about a 20-something woman who gets divorced in her 20s, and basically about how she navigates that when it comes to dating after her divorce, when it comes to healing after her divorce, when it comes to how her friendship dynamics change after her divorce. And the main character, Maggie, is definitely a mess throughout the book. She's quite insufferable, but at the end of the book, she finally went to therapy, and I was really, really happy for her. I compare it to Sorrow and Bliss by Meg Mason simply because of the themes that it explores. Barring the divorce storyline, like, I feel like it was quite similar. However, Really Good Actually, it has more of a jovial tone to it, whereas Sorrow and Bliss is very like dreary, but it's beautifully written and a beautifully told story, sort of dreary, so it was like worth it. But yeah, that is Really Good Actually by Monica Heisey, and I definitely would recommend people to read this if you like Sorrow and Bliss, and if you like main characters that are mentally unhinged and emotionally turbulent. Definitely recommend. So, another book that I read in February was Normal People by Sally Rooney. This was a reread, and I reread this book on Valentine's Day. And when I mean I reread it on Valentine's Day, I started it at like 9 a.m. and then I finished it around 3 p.m., 4 p.m. I just wanted to just blitz a book on Valentine's Day. I have no mans, I have no womans, I have no nobody. Like, all I have is God. And yeah, so I just sat down and I read Normal People by Sally Rooney. You guys should know, like, I absolutely love Sally Rooney, and Normal People is definitely my favorite work by her. I also feel like it's her best work, but people would disagree because I've heard people say that Beautiful World, Where Are You is her best work, but I disagree with that. But again, reading taste, and it's all personalized. I loved it. Like, you guys know I love Normal People. It's unhinged. The main characters are anxious and completely just silly when it comes to love. I just you know what? Reading it the second time around, and it's been like, what, 4 or 5 years since I've read it, I picked up on a lot more than I picked up on when I first read it. And yeah, guys, Sally Rooney is just that girl. There's not much that I can say to you guys other than Sally Rooney is that girl. Do not know how people don't love this book. People say that it's boring, but it's just so real. Do you know what I mean? And it's quite relatable because I am someone who suffers from generalized anxiety disorder. And when it comes to the storyline of Connell and even Marianne's storyline, it's just like the kids are in this world where kind of messed up, where really emotional, and we're just trying to figure it out and find love. And I absolutely love this book because it just shows how messy love can be, and how nuanced love can be also. But child, yeah, Sally always does it for me. So I was really happy to reread this book, and after reading it, as I said, I was like, yep, Sally is that girl. Scrumdiddly yum yum, a purr purr. She did that. She always does that. She ate that. But yeah, that was the next book that I read in February. Okay, so another book that I read in February was To My Sisters, and the book is by Renée, Kapuku, and I believe it's Courtney, Daniella, Boateng. And this is a non-fiction book, and it's basically about building strong friendships with other women. I really liked the book, and as it's my first non-fiction book of 2023, I was quite happy that I started here. It definitely fell into the self-help category. I feel like a lot of non-fiction books these days fall into the self-help category, and you guys know that I'm not a big self-help kind of girl. However, I did learn a few things whilst reading the book. I would recommend it if you are someone who is trying to build long-lasting and strong relationships with other women. I have fantastic female friends, and they are after God. Like, they are another variation of the love of my life, basically. Like, I love them so much, and they've shown me so much kindness. And this book, To My Sisters, basically explores how both Renée and Courtney use their friendship to propel themselves in life, and I adored it. I absolutely hate the commercialization of the word sis, but barring that, I enjoyed the book, and I would recommend it for those reasons that I've just spoken about. So, okay. Guys, this one. Okay. 2 videos ago, I spoke about Open Water by Caleb Azumah Nelson, and you guys know my thoughts. I've always felt like Open Water was a bit muddled for me. I absolutely hated the second person narrative, but I always have said that Caleb has serious potential, because Open Water wasn't bad, it just wasn't for me because of certain things. 1, the second person narrative, 2, because it was a bit poetic, and 3, because it was a bit muddled and I was a bit confused whilst reading it. However, there were some serious chapters in the book, and I believe I said this in my last video. I think my favorite chapters in Open Water were 24, 25, and 26. They were just so deep, and that's when I really realized Caleb's potential, and I was really excited to read his second book, Small Worlds. Now, listen, I'm still shocked at how much this book ate down. I'm still shocked at how much this book ate down. Guys, as soon as I finished it, I said, fuck me. I said, and excuse my French, I said, F me. This book is 5 stars, no complaints. It just makes sense. The book is beautiful. And, he ate down. He ate down. I just can't. I really, really just can't. The book smacks. I don't even know if I should give you guys like a brief synopsis because I don't even want to ruin it for you. I don't want to say anything. I just want you to read it so that you can experience it. It's literary fiction. It's Black British and it explores mental health and grief and, you know, father-son relationships and friendships and community. And I was just like, it did that. It did that. The entire book did that. Like, it's a beautiful book. It's intimate. It's poetic. It just made sense. And the last part, the last chunk of it, I was crying. Tears crying. I cried. I felt it in my brim. Caleb. Baby, you've got a fan out of me. I knew you had it in you. I knew you had it in you. And now I'm genuinely scared because I can only see you going up from here. That book, Small Worlds, is a 5 out of 5. It's a 5-star read. 10 out of 10, cream of the crop. How else can I put it? He ate it down. The book ate down. I'm not even going to say anything about what happens in it. Read the book and then come back and tell me what you think of it. The book ate down. That book, 5 stars. 5 stars. And if you liked Open Water, and I didn't even like Open Water like that, but if you liked Open Water, this is probably going to be the best book you've ever read in your life. And yeah, the book ate down. Jesus. Let's move on. I can go on and on and on about this, and all the other books deserve a chance. Let's move on. The next book that I want to talk about is A Spell of Good Things by Ayobami Adebayo. And okay, guys. So you guys will know Ayobami from Stay With Me, which was a fantastic debut. Definitely had our hopes high and expectations high as also. Now, this book is beautifully written. Ayobami is a fantastic writer. Like, that is not even debatable. She's a fantastic writer. I just didn't take to it. And I think that, like, I have to be honest here. I found it extremely difficult to get through. Like, a good 75% of the book, it kept making me fall asleep. And this is the book that took me a week to get through. And every time I read it, I felt like a child being punished. And I just didn't want to read it because I just didn't care for the characters. I think that was it. It's like, I don't care for these characters. I don't care for this story. And then when it started to get interesting, the book was more or less coming to an end. And then it ended a bit on a cliffhanger. Or, like, you know how literary fiction ends, where it's just like, oh, okay. But I just felt like there's so much that went unsaid in this book that I feel like you shouldn't have ended it there. You should have given us a part 2 or something, but yeah, it was boring. I'm not gonna lie to you. Quick synopsis. Basically, the book is mainly about 2 characters and their families and how their lives, I guess, like, overlap sometimes. One character is super, super rich. The other character is super, super poor. It's set in Nigeria, and therefore it definitely highlights the class differences and how huge the difference is. Basically, like, if you're rich and you're, let's say, the daughter of like a politician or someone who works in finance or someone who has generational wealth, your life could be just pristine. And if you're not any of those things, your life can be very, very terrible. I've read Nigerian literature before, and I always love when they talk about the political climate in Nigeria, especially highlighting how corrupt it can be and basically how much money talks. So I liked that about the book. I just felt like the book that's like the best thing to say. And I didn't like one of the characters' partners in the book. He was abusive, and that really annoys me, and it was quite triggering to read. And I wish someone had killed him in the book. I'm going to be honest. I wish someone had taken his life in the book because he was just a really nasty character. Obviously, it said that it says that both of the main characters, in the blurb, it says that the main characters' lives overlap and then they meet and like they cross paths, and they didn't cross paths until the very, very end. Sorry to spoil it for you. And they hardly said anything to each other. And I was just like, are you taking the piss? Are you taking the piss? You're lucky I do not like not finishing books, because this, I would have hung it up a very long time ago if I knew that's how it was going to end. But yeah, sorry, but yeah, sorry. It is what it is. So the next book that I read in February is Wandering Souls by Cecile Pin, and this book made me cry. It made me cry so much, and I am an emotional person. Like, I have to just tell you guys that. Like, I am an emotional person, but no, I'm not emotional. I'm empathetic. I'm an empathetic person. So whenever I read anything sad, I'm gonna feel that emotion quite deeply on behalf of the person. In this case, on behalf of the characters. And so I was just crying a lot. And it's basically about 3 siblings who ultimately were like displaced because of like war and like just a bad climate in their home country, which was Vietnam. They then had to like move over to the UK to like escape that climate. And it's about how they settled within the UK. It's about how they navigated coming from such a traumatic past and moving forward and making something of themselves, or finding parts of themselves that they feel like they had lost back in Vietnam. I'm not going to tell you too much about the story because what I just said is quite loose. Like, I missed out quite a lot simply because I'd want you guys to read it and experience the emotion that I experienced. It was so sad, and it gave me what did it give me? It gave me it gave me Human Acts by Han Kang vibes, like how the story was basically told. It gave me that vibe, and I absolutely loved Human Acts by Han Kang. And yeah, the book did what it had to do. It's really emotional, easy to read, but really well written, and it definitely gets more applause from me for the storytelling than the writing, but it's fantastic. Like, it's just clean writing. It's good. Like, I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend. As I said, super emotional, and yeah, highly recommend. You should read it. Well done, Cecile Pin. It was a beautiful story and very, very moving and emotional. So yeah. The last book that I read in February was Rosewater by Liv Little. Now guys, this book was read after I read A Spell of Good Things. So I was just happy to just not be reading A Spell of Good Things anymore. And I got through it quite quickly. And in the beginning, I really liked the writing style. Liv Little is actually a good writer. Her writing style is clean, it's digestible, but after like maybe 3 or 4 chapters, it became a bit muddled for me. I'm gonna be honest. However, I do feel like it had potential. I love the queerness of the book. Like, I am here for the gay stuff, and the main character, she's a lesbian, and I was just here for her being sexy and having a lot of sex and trying to find love and trying to navigate her weird financial situation. The book is set in London, which I always like. I feel like Black British writers are really coming for the cookie this year. But yeah, it got a bit muddled towards the end, but I did enjoy it more than I expected to because I had heard some really weird reviews about it. But I feel like I enjoyed it more because I read it immediately after reading A Spell of Good Things. Yeah, my thoughts are a bit about it. Like, I don't really have thoughts. It's not a book that I'm going to remember. Like, I'm not going to take it with me for the rest of my life. It's not bad. I I wouldn't even say that it's not good, it's just not for me, and I feel like that's the best way to describe it. But yeah, if you want to read really digestible queer Black British literature, then 괡ᴏʟᴜ by Liv Little is your girl. But yeah guys, that's it. Those are my 7 books that I read this month, and I wish I got through all my 13, but it is what it is, and we just have to keep it kicking, because in this life, bro, time keeps ticking and you can't come and kill yourself. I hope you enjoyed my review of each and every book. I hope I haven't spoiled anything for you, but yeah, these books were good, especially Small Worlds by Caleb Azumah Nelson. Oh my god, I can go again. I can go again about Small Worlds. So let me just round it up, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. Make sure to subscribe if you are new here. I'm in an awkward space with YouTube where it's like I'll gain 20 subscribers, then I'll lose 50. It's so awkward and I really just don't know what to do. I'm going to be consistent and just fight through how much of a loser it makes me feel sometimes. If you haven't already followed me across all my other socials, make sure to follow me on Twitter, IG and TikTok, where all the content is different. My name is Hena J. Bryan and you can find me on those platforms. But yeah guys, until the next time, take care and happy reading. Bye.